Hey guys, this is the Gemmy Fan here on Gemmy Master Animatronics, and today I'll be reviewing yet another 6-foot life size that I was given the chance to fix by Donovan or DD_Richard1. This is the extremely rare gray-haired Butler, or also known as the Derpy Butler. The reason I call it the Derpy Butler, or everyone on this channel knows what knows what I'm talking about, because of the eyes. I mean, look at that. Doesn't get much derpier than that, does it? But anyways, I took this into myself to fix. He offered, he's like, okay, I could bring a few life sizes, which included like Brain Monster, this Butler here, and his 2007 Jason, which I'm still currently working on to this day. So I will not be showing any videos of it until I get the correct pieces to make it fully functional, basically. But it's almost done as well. So yeah. Anyways, so this guy needed a lot of work, of course. It did not do anything when I first received it. It did not breathe, which it's supposed to breathe. His head did not move. And it still doesn't move, but I'll get to that in a minute. And his eyes did not move. Well, I'm going to go ahead and explain the same thing that I did with the Brain Monster. The head had actually fried out. Because what happens is that when the gears split in those, and they're not taken care of, and I'm not saying this is Donovan's fault. It wasn't Donovan's fault. It was the previous owner's fault. This one wasn't really taken care of from the previous owner either, so that's why I had to go in there and do a lot of work to it. But what happens is that when the gears split in the life sizes heads, they lock up the one side, and you cannot really free them up unless you take take it all apart and remove the motor shaft gear and put a new shaft gear on. So that is why. And what happened is that with this one, it fried out the function for it, because all it did was twitch. It was barely fried out, and the motor was dead for it, and I also reconnected some other motors, and the other motors also twitched. So that part is unfortunately fried out. But one of these days, like I said, exactly like I said with the Brain Monster, I'll go in there and fix up the head one day. One of these days. But I got like all the gears ready in there for the day that I go back in there and fix it. So everything's ready and prepared just in case I want to go back in there and fix it once I have enough experience. But I didn't want to mess with it because it's a very old and valuable prop. So yeah. But anyways, I did end up fixing the eyes. I went inside the head and pulled the cord out, and it needed a new adapter jack inside the head because that adapter port had actually snapped off and flew inside the head somewhere. So I had to take the head apart, pull that through, and attach a new jack to it. So now the eyes work, yet it still keeps its derpy look. Donovan actually requested it to stay that way because of its significance as the Derpy Butler, of course. So I left it that way, and it actually is pretty hilarious. But the eyes do move. And all I needed for the chest area was a rubber belt. The gear was not split whatsoever, so I didn't even have to bother taking the mechanism apart. But that's pretty much all I did to this guy. I'd say it was a one-day project, because he was apart for several days, because I was examining him when Donovan came over that day. And I have a little bit of footage of when he came over. It'll be pretty cool. I'll tell you guys about that stuff later. And I have a couple repair videos of while I was fixing them, but like not full repair videos, is because this is my first time working on life sizes, and I didn't have as much experience with these guys, so I wanted these to be my my full-on first experience, so I knew what I was doing. It's not my first experience fixing them. I'm just saying I haven't worked on this many at one time. Like, I worked on my Michael Myers. Yes, I do have the 2010 Michael Myers, my life-size Jason, the Witch, the Bride. So I had my fair share of work with these life sizes. I knew exactly what I was doing. But the functions of the fried out components is what kind of stumped me. So I decided not to make full repair videos because I didn't really know what I was getting into at the time. But I'm glad that I fixed it up the best I could. And Donovan, I hope you enjoy this. He says several phrases. And keep in mind, it has some pauses in the areas, because in one of the sequences only his head moves. So it'll just sit there for a second. But he's really cool. He used to be purchased at Kroger. They're very rare and hard to find. Normally you'd see like the ones with the top hat, the black hair, and a slightly different looking suit. But this is the one with the gray hair. It's bald, and the rubber mask and not the plastic mask. So that's really all I have to say about it. Details. There's the face right there, as you can see. It's still got the derpy eyes. The suit's in pretty good cosmetic condition. Really no dirt stains or spots. The arm is also positioned backwards, and he wanted me to keep it that way as well, like I said, for its significance. The base has a purple button on it. It's motion activated, but I will be using the try me button for this option, because I don't have a flashlight with me to signal it. So yeah, let me get a good little angle on it so you can see all the movements perfectly or easily. And that pretty much concludes me talking, that is. And now let's get on to the items. So without further ado, we will demonstrate it for you. And this right here is where the head should be moving.
Good evening. Wonderful to see you here this evening.
So very, very, very short phrases. So that's something you got to get used to with these older butlers.
Thank you for joining us this evening. I hope I may be of some service. Ah, you've arrived. Come right in. Good evening. The master's been expecting you.
Also forgot to mention that this item is very high pitched compared to the others.
So glad you could make it.
And that's pretty much it for his complete phrases, so we'll get some better details up on him. As you can see, his eyes still continue to stay derpy, which I kind of like, to be honest with you, because they still look goofy when they move. His arm is still positioned backwards like he requested, so that's still the same. His breathing motion works, and his eyes work, so I'll play a couple more phrases.
Thank you for joining us this evening. I hope I may be of some service.
And that pretty much concludes this video for the extremely rare 6-foot gray-haired butler, also known as the Derpy Butler. Thanks again, Donovan, for letting me repair this guy for you, and I hope you enjoy it.